You've seen this stuff everywhere, right? It's been called super water. A biohacking secret that can supposedly turbocharge your recovery, wipe out brain fog, and flip your brain on like a light switch. The world's top performers and health gurus are swearing by it. But let's be real. Is this actual science, or just a very, very expensive placebo? I'm a natural skeptic, and the claims sound a little too good to be true. At the same time, I'm a huge believer in self-experimentation. You never know until you try it yourself. So, I decided to put it to the test. For the next 30 days, I'm swapping every single drop of my usual filtered water for this, high-concentration hydrogen water. I'll be tracking my workouts, my focus, and my metabolic health to get to the truth. And honestly, the results were not what I expected. Let's find out if this stuff actually works. So, what is hydrogen water? It's not about the hydrogen already in H2O. Think of it as regular water that gets a special upgrade. It's infused with extra, tiny molecules of hydrogen gas. The theory is that since molecular hydrogen, or H2, is one of the smallest molecules known, it can get just about anywhere in our bodies. It can pass into our cells, our mitochondria, and even slip across the blood-brain barrier with surprising ease. Once it's in there, it's said to be a selective antioxidant. This is the key claim. The idea is that it specifically goes after the worst of the worst free radicals, the hydroxyl radicals that build up from intense exercise and stress, without messing with the good free radicals our bodies actually need. This selective approach is what supposedly makes it so effective. I wanted to test the 3 biggest claims. 1. Faster workout recovery. Can it really reduce muscle soreness and help me bounce back quicker? 2. Sharper mental clarity. Will it cut through that daily brain fog and improve my focus? 3. Better metabolic health. Could it impact things like my blood sugar or nervous system balance? To do this right, I needed a solid plan. For 30 days, I committed to drinking at least 1 liter of hydrogen water every day. I used these special tablets that dissolve in water to create a therapeutic concentration, well over 1.6 parts per million. I split the dose, half a liter first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and the other half right after my workout. To keep things as consistent as possible, nothing else in my life changed. Same diet, same sleep, same 4-day-a-week workout schedule mixing high-intensity training and weights. To make sure this wasn't all just in my head, I set my day 0 baselines for the key things I was tracking. For recovery, I rated my delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, on a simple 1 to 10 scale after my toughest workouts. I also measured my heart rate recovery, how quickly my heart rate drops in the 30 seconds after peak effort. For focus, I used a brain training app to get a hard number on my reaction time and kept a daily journal to rate my brain fog on that same 1 to 10 scale. For metabolic health, I used my wearable to track my morning heart rate variability, HRV, which is a great snapshot of nervous system recovery. I also used a simple finger prick meter to check my fasted blood glucose each morning. The experiment was ready. The baselines were set. On day 1, it was time to make the swap. Day 1, time to unbox. Or I guess, untablet? The tablets fizz just like a vitamin C tablet. The first taste? It's water. Maybe a little smoother, but if you blindfolded me, I'd have no idea. There was no instant jolt of energy, no sudden clarity. For the first few days, it honestly just felt like I was adding an expensive, fizzy step to my morning. The skepticism was running high. Week 1, day 7, the first whoa moment. This is where things started getting interesting. Normally, after my Tuesday high-intensity session, my Wednesday and Thursday are a wash. My legs are fried, I feel stiff, and my motivation tanks. But this week was different. The soreness was muted. Oh, it was still there, but it wasn't that sharp, debilitating pain. My journal notes, which usually showed a DOM score of 6 or 7 for a full 48 hours, had it down to a 4, and it seemed to clear up a day sooner. What really got my attention was my heart rate. During my workout, I felt like I was catching my breath faster between sprints. I checked the data. My heart rate recovery had actually improved. My baseline was a drop of about 28 beats in the 30 seconds after a sprint. By day 7, it was consistently dropping by 34 beats. This was the first time I thought, okay, hold on. Maybe there's something to this. Day 15, the midpoint check-in, 2 weeks in, the faster recovery felt real and consistent. But something new was happening, the mental side. You know that low-grade brain fog that just feels like a normal part of being awake? It was lifting. My self-rated fog score, which started at an average of 5, was now down around a 3. And I had some data to back that feeling up. My reaction time, which I tested every morning, had sharpened. My baseline was around 285 milliseconds. By day 15, I was consistently hitting closer to 260. That might not sound like a lot, but it's the difference between feeling sharp and feeling a step behind. I felt more dialed in during the day and didn't feel the need for that second cup of coffee in the afternoon. By the way, if you're finding this deep dive into self-experimentation useful, maybe consider subscribing. I'm always testing something to separate what works from what's just good marketing. Okay, back to it. Day 30, the final day. By the end of the 30 days, the changes felt like my new normal. The quicker recovery and mental sharpness weren't a fluke. The subjective feeling was powerful, but I needed to see the final, objective data. Alright, this is what it all comes down to. After a month of feelings and observations, it's time for the hard numbers. First things first. Was I even drinking hydrogen water? I bought some hydrogen test drops, a simple liquid that turns clear if there's dissolved hydrogen gas present. I tested my normal filtered water, and nothing. The blue drop stayed blue. Then I tested a freshly made bottle of the hydrogen water. Boom. Instantly clear. So, at least I knew I was actually testing the real deal. Now for my personal biomarker results. Let's break it down by the 3 claims. First, workout recovery. This is where I saw the biggest change. My average soreness score after my hardest workouts was down by a solid 20 to 25%. Even better, my actual performance improved. My work capacity, the number of reps I could do before failure in my final sprint set, saw a real bump. The emerging science points to H2 helping mitigate the oxidative stress that leads to muscle fatigue, which might explain this. For anyone who trains hard, that's a huge win. Second, cognitive clarity. The feeling of being sharper wasn't just in my head. My reaction time improvements held steady throughout the month. My personal brain fog rating saw a significant drop of nearly 40%. The proposed idea here is fascinating, because hydrogen is so small, it can get into the brain and may help reduce some of the neural inflammation that makes us feel tired and unfocused. Third, metabolic markers. Here, the results were more subtle, but still pointed in the right direction. My morning heart rate variability, HRV, a key marker for nervous system recovery, showed a positive upward trend over the month. This suggests my body was getting better at shifting into a rest and digest state. And my fasted glucose? It saw a slight but consistent dip, from an average of 92 mg/dl down to about 88 mg/dl. These aren't revolutionary changes, but they show a clear, positive trend toward better metabolic balance. So, after 30 days and a whole lot of data tracking, what's the verdict? Is hydrogen water a miracle cure, or is it just pricey water? Based on my personal experience, the evidence I gathered suggests it's a genuinely useful tool. The effect on my workout recovery was the most powerful and undeniable benefit. Feeling less sore and ready to train again sooner is a game changer. The mental boost was the icing on the cake. Now, let's be 100% clear, this was an N of 1 experiment. It's my story, not a massive clinical trial. The placebo effect is always a possibility, and the scientific community agrees that while the early research is promising, we still need more large-scale human studies. With all that said, will I keep using it? Yes. For me, the improvement in recovery alone is worth it. It's not a magic pill, but it feels like a real tool for managing the stress of intense training and a busy life. It feels like one of those small edges that actually adds up. But that's just my experience. I'm really curious to hear from you. Have you tried hydrogen water? Did you think it was amazing, or a total waste of money? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I read all of them. Thanks for watching.